Hello fellow old schoolers. We have a sort of a Halloween special here as we are following Skynet's last recorded game in this tournament, and this is rather fitting a match against a spooky necromancer, namely the Reanimator archetype. Let's go over this deck real quick here. Now the Reanimator archetype is a very expensive but very cheeky combo deck, making use of those Bazaars of Baghdad in combination with All Hallows Eve. The Bazaar of Baghdad is a land that you can tap to draw 2 cards immediately, and then you have to discard 3 cards. So discarding 3 cards a turn makes you fill up your graveyard pretty damn quick with all those big fat beaters, and then you'll use All Hallows Eve and Animate Dead to get them right back in at a reduced cost or free of charge, and just punch face with them. And you'll just bonk heads with that. In a way, it's like the Eureka deck, where you circumvent the mana cost to get some of the biggest beaters in the format into play and just overwhelm the other guy. Martin, that's brewing this deck, is trying to be inspired or copy a version of the Reanimator archetype that won a tournament in Germany recently, I think it was. So the creature package here is Soulcast the Swamp King, 3 Maha Mutijins, 4 Shivan Dragons, 4 Triskelions, and then we have some combo pieces and a bit of removal. It's fully powered. I have a Disintegrate, also a couple of Lightning Bolts for removal, Recall and Regrowth just to get even more ways to get creatures and power back in. Wheel of Fortune, obviously very good in this deck because you can discard your hand with a bunch of creatures and draw a full new hand. Sylvan Libraries works well in this deck, especially with Bazaar of Baghdad, because at some point the Sylvan Library, you will have usually a couple of bad cards at the top, and you just want to dig for the 3rd card all the time. But with Bazaar of Baghdad, you can just burn through those cards and get 3 new cards to draw with the Sylvan Library each turn. So that is the matchup here. Pretty damn brutal and very, very fun and spicy, but it does pack a punch, this one. In his sideboard we see he has 3 Minerals Discs, more Blue Blast, Lightning Bolts, Concordant Crossroads. I guess it's against the Abyss. I'll likely take them in against me actually, and it also provides some crucial tempo for his big fat beaters there. Shadows, he'll likely take that in as well, because Skynet is a robot deck. Speaking of Skynet, let's go over that archetype or that deck real quick here. And this is Skynet, we've seen it before. This version, it is a bit more controlish with 3 counterspells and a couple of Sword to Plowshares. We have an Animate Dead as well. That might be cheeky in this matchup because I might nick some of his discarded creatures with that. We also have an Abyss and another the Abyss in the sideboard. I'll likely take that in, and he will likely take in his Concordant Crossroads to sort of counter that. Skynet is built around the theme of getting out robots, mass produce them with copy artifacts, and if they get destroyed, they'll say I'll be back and be brought back in with Animate Deads. I can take in Armageddons after sideboard for nuclear strikes, and then it will function sort of like Armageddon, but just with robots instead. Very, very cheeky against Maces of Ith, if I remember to take them in. And also pretty nice against the deck actually, and other decks that require a lot of mana. That is the matchup. A controlish variant of Skynet, I guess, but it's also a mid-range, overwhelming the other guy with robots and copy artifacts against another deck that wants to overwhelm the other guy with combo pieces and big fat beaters. Let's see how this matchup plays out. Who will outpunch the other guy? And this is round 1 of the tournament match of the Swiss here, with Reanimator on the left here, mulliganing, and so am I on Skynet. So a double mulligan here, both players going down to 6 cards. We'll cut a bit forward while we shuffle up. Okay, you can see his hand here. Has a Bazaar of Baghdad and an All Hallows Eve and a couple of creatures and also an Animate Dead. Should likely get rid of the Lightning Bolt, but then again he doesn't know what I play. Oh, he actually gets rid of the All Hallows Eve. Yeah, that makes sense. He needs that later on as a combo piece. Who's on the play? Both keeping our hands here. Now there will be a bit of glare in this match, and also the dice is outside the camera angle later on. Oh, okay, I'm mulliganing down here, keeping the hand. So I'll try to use graphics to help a bit as a Badlands here. Oh, Skynet starts off with a Library of Alexandria. There's a Bazaar of Baghdad. Using that immediately, discarding a Triskelion, a Maha Mutijin, and a Lightning Bolt. Alright. So he discard cards and I draw cards, but the usual game with having card advantage is not in effect against this kind of deck. Yeah, I'm just cracking his Bazaar Baghdad immediately here. I don't want a full graveyard, because in a way his graveyard is also his hand. So he has a huge hand. Okay, Animate dead here, getting in the Mahamutian. No, sorry, the Triskelion. Okay, so what can we make happen? Okay, copying the Triskelion. Okay, any response, he shoots me. No, he shoots itself. So the copy artifact fizzles, and I have to copy my Mox Ruby instead, the only viable target here. And he does this because he knows that he can just get it back in a jiffy. Yeah, another Animate dead. This time taking the Mahamutian. He doesn't want me to copy it, having learned from his mistake here, knowing that I am now on a robot deck, likely. So Mahamutian would be a safer bet. Oh, it would be, but there's an Abyss. Okay. Oh yeah, he shot me twice with the Triskelion and then it shot itself. Makes sense. Wheel of Fortune here. Completely mitigating my card advantage. Ooh, and I had a Mind Twist and an Ancestor Recall in hand, along with a Triskelion and a bunch of good stuff, a counterspell as well. But especially that Mind Twist and Ancestor Recall is pretty damn brutal. Discarding that, now it's his turn to cast Ancestor Recall. Getting a bunch of cards in his hand here. Putting down the life totals here. He's taking a single point of damage because he has a City of Brass that's tapped right outside the camera angle. He used that to play the Wheel of Fortune. A couple of Mox Ruby, Mox Emerald, and a Black Lotus. Getting played out of the Ancestor Recall, cracking the Lotus here. Oh, and getting out an All Hallows Eve. So we know there's a Trisk and a Mahamutian in that graveyard. And I only have copy artifacts of mine. They won't get back in. He might have other stuff because he cast Wheel of Fortune. He might have discarded other stuff, but I think maybe he has ordered his graveyard so we can see the creatures. As said, in a way they're in his hand. So the All Hallows Eve will count down here. Oh, but I'm getting them out of the graveyard here, taking the Trisk because it's the only one that'll survive under the Abyss. Cheeky stuff. But yeah, there's 2 turns left. Once the dice on that All Hallows Eve had counted down, the graveyards will get in, or they would. But now I'm casting Time Twister, so the graveyard will get into the decks here. So I could have waited with this, waiting for him to discard some more creatures. But I want to get back into library range. I have an active library of Alexandria here. Oh, and he forgot to take his Mahamutian in the deck, so we're shuffling here. While he does that, I'm just drawing with my library. I still have an active turn here. Okay, Mox Jet coming out of Skynet. Other stuff here. Black Lotus, Okay, I gotta watch out that I don't empty my hand. I need to be within library range. Okay, I'm doing so here. Down to 6 cards then. Okay, and the All Hallows Eve counts down to 1. No graveyards at all. So yeah, it's a bit of a hard counter against that All Hallows Eve. Mind you, it is a sorcery, so you can't disenchant it. It is outside the game, counting down. If the moment it's been cast, you can't do anything against it. Oh, big spell here. Okay, using the City of Brass, taking 1 point of damage, and then disintegrating me for 5. And then casting Balance. Cheeky stuff here. It removed the Triskelion and also a lot of cards from my hand. That's why he cast the Balance. That's why he cast the Disintegrate on myself. So I'm shooting him for 3. Then I'm Swords to Plowsharing it just to remove it from the game because I don't want it to get back in on his side. And I don't get any life of it because it is a 3/4 Triskelion because there's an Animate dead on it. Then I disenchant Mox Pearl. Might as well. I don't know what colors he plays, but I did see a Balance. So, no Mox Pearl takes priority here. And then I gotta discard a bunch of cards going outside library range here, so I can't use the Library of Alexandria anymore. Big equalizer here. But still, at least he doesn't get a Triskelion back into play here, because it's outside the game. Been exiled by my Swords to Plowshares. Now I'm Brain Geistering. Clawing back into library range. Getting down a factory. Oh, playing something. Okay, playing an Icy Manipulator. I can start to tap down his City of Brass here. Okay, the All Hallows Eve triggers. No, nothing in the graveyard. As said, the Triskelion is not there. It's outside the game. So nothing really happened. Being able to dance around that All Hallows Eve so far. The Time Twisters, Swords to Plowshares, Animate Deads. It's actually a bit of a brutal matchup for him because I have things that influence the graveyard as well. Another factory coming down here. Okay, I'm giving it a good think here. Okay, tapping his City of Brass, pinging him for 1, activating the factory without summoning Sickness, and then pumping it with the other factory, doing 3 points of damage. That's 4 points of damage all in all. Drawing with the library before I cast anything else, then getting out a Sushi. Alright, so the attack starts here again after the game has been reset by that balance. Okay, he plays a Recall here. Not much of a graveyard to influence, but I suppose there are some good stuff there. Getting rid of some cards. Yeah, getting back in the balance and the Disintegrate. Might as well. I'm down to 13. He can Disintegrate for a bunch here. And now I can cast the balance. He even loses additional cards from the Recall. So balance is just so brutal. Now all the cards I gained from that Brain Geyser is annulled. I'm going down to 2 cards. Losing the Sushi and going outside the library range again. So far he's managed to keep me outside library range almost the entire game. Got a few draws out of it, but that's it. So counting up lanes, gotta discard a few. Then the Sushi dies. And I need to discard a bunch of cards. Oh yeah, I nicked the dice. I should be at 13. So yeah, let's rectifying that mistake because I was down to 12. So discarding a bunch of cards here. Library, bye-bye. Library of Alexandria. Now it's just a colorless mana. I don't think I have any more draw engines, but I do have 2 factories and an Icy Manipulator. Maybe I can ride that straight to victory, because I can tap his City of Brass whenever I want to. Oh, he's got a City of Bazaar backed that out as well, so he might start to get his stuff out, but he needs to work fast here. Factories did survive that balance, going in for 4 points of damage here. And what do we have? Kept a few cards in hand. 2 cards. Okay, one of them was a Triskelion. That's brutal. He needs an answer immediately. And he has used a balance. He's used a regrowth. The recall. He has a regrowth for the balance. But even then, I'll just shoot him and attack next turn. He uses the Bazaar Baghdad. Doesn't draw anything. Alright. So finally pulling through all the balances here. Skynet wins the first match and will go into sideboard. As said, he'll likely take in his Concordant Crossroads. I'll take in my Abyss and another Animate Dead because they're cheeky against all his big creatures in the graveyard. He'll take in his Shatters as well, likely. Here's his hand: Time Walk, Mahmoud Jin, Bazaar Baghdad, Triskelion, Mahmoud Jin, and Mox Emerald, and a bunch of mana. My hand: Black Lotus, Counterspell, Disenchant, a few lanes, and a Brain Geyser, as we saw here. Pretty nice to have a Brain Geyser and a Black Lotus. Okay, he starts out with an immediate Time Walk with that Mox as a Bazaar. So, okay, tempo. Getting rid of a bunch of creatures here. Uh-oh. Okay, I'm actually playing the Black Lotus maybe in order to counter. No. Giving it a good think. It makes it possible for me to counter, but on the other hand, I would like to keep it in order to Brain Geyser for a bunch later on. And if he shatters it, it isn't much fun in cracking it to counter. But I suppose I'm keeping it because I might be able to counter an Ancestral Recall or something crucial, or an Animate Dead if I don't. I think I have a Disenchant in hand, but I don't know if I have any white mana. I do have the Black Lotus, obviously. Okay, drawing with the Bazaar, discarding a couple of lands and a Mineral's Disc. Oh, get a bunch of Mox Snout and a Disc. So he put in the discs actually. bunch of them on his disc. I thought he would put in the Shatters and the Concordant Crossroads. That wasn't the case. Interesting. Yeah, strip mine. No white mana it seems. Okay, cracking the Lotus for blue likely. Yeah, Brain Geyser in here. 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. Yep, here we go. Using 2 cards to get that, but it might mana fix me. I need a lot of tempo here. Actually discarding a counter spell. So I didn't get a lot out of that actually, but in the beginning here I need to draw into some more mana. Now he's without a hand, just putting creatures in his graveyard, waiting for an All Hallows Eve or similar. And he can activate the disc, and as said, it won't crack his own All Hallows Eve as it is exiled. It's not an enchantment. So actually a pretty cheeky combination here. Cracking the other guy's stuff, but the All Hallows Eve counts down. And even if he cracks his own creatures with that Nibelung's disc, well, they'll get back in after an All Hallows Eve has triggered. Disenchanting the disc here. If he activates, he loses 2 mugs and I only lose 1. I need to get rid of it before I commit. Okay, then a City in a Bottle, removing the Bazaar of Baghdad. Animate dead. Out of him, Mahamoti Jinn. I'm discussing here, it should be an Arabian Nights card. I feel Mahamoti Jinn is just feels like an Arabian Night card, but it is a beta or alpha card, so City in a Bottle will not touch it. Even though it's got that Arabian feel, right? Sushi coming out, yeah. Won't be able to get in. Oh, he's actually attacking here. Okay, then I can get in, but Mahamoti Jinn does 4 points of damage here. He's weakened as he is a zombie Jinn. 4/6 creature. So we can just exchange blows here. Getting in for 4 as well. Putting down a Tuscallion. So now if he blocks me with that Mahamoti Jinn, I can shoot him with the Trisk for the final 2 points of damage and get rid of it if I want to. Okay, using the Lotus to get it down to Tuscallion as a blocker, and flying in again with that Jinn for 4 points of damage. Yeah, so do you all out attack here? I think I will, and expect him to block with his Tuscallion. Will be difficult though, because he can actually attack for 8 and then shoot for 3, but it will only do 11 points of damage, so won't die. And if I so he has to do this, because otherwise my counter attack will kill him. So it goes down to 12 points of life as Masushi gets in. Oh, I have another Trisk though. That's why it was a given just to attack there. Now he needs to beat back. But I mean, he can one-punch my robots here if he chooses to. Being a 4/6 is excellent against me. So if I attack with both, he'll just block my Tuscallion. Oh, but I have a disenchant. Cheeky stuff here. Now I can get in for 8. He's down to 4. In a bit, I will actually be able just to shoot him with the Trisk, but I won't do so yet. Or copying the Tuscallion, then I shoot. Yeah, okay, that's game. Okay, Skynet. Losing all guns here. 2 Terminators. Lighting him up. 6 points of damage here. Winning the second match. We had some time here, so we actually put in a bonus game. So let's just go straight into that. Third match here, even though this match of the Swiss is concluded. Might as well have a bit of fun. But I'm starting with the library. Oh, and he has a Bazaar. As said, it might look decidedly uneven, him losing so many cards, but as long as they're creatures, they're usable for him, even outside his hand. Problem for him is I have animate deaths as well, so I can actually nick them. Oh, I should draw with the library before I do anything here. Otherwise, I think I'll be too low. Okay, just passing the turn. Apparently I want to draw in his end step. I must be at 7 cards then. Maybe? He's just riding that Bazaar Baghdad here. Full speed. Not a lot of creatures to discard though. Okay, Chaos Orb coming down. He can now Chaos Orb my Library of Alexandria. A bit risky though. He is now tapped out. I don't think he should have done that. I think he should have waited a turn. I can disenchant it. He needs some mana untapped. If I can, maybe I can't. Otherwise he should Chaos Orb my Library of Alexandria, obviously, but I don't think he should have played it so early. Provides me a way to get rid of it. Oh, I'm Demonic Tutoring here. Do I just Demonic Tutor for a disenchant? Just to protect my own library? Would be a bit unorthodox, but I think that it would be the correct play. It doesn't have many outs against the Library of Alexandria. Let's see, what did I pick here? I hope it's a disenchant and not an ancestral recall. No. Oh man. I think that's a misplay. Oh, he doesn't use the Chaos Orb. That is really weird. Oh, I think I have a disenchant. Okay, this is actually, if I disenchanted, if I use the library before it's my turn, he'll activate the Chaos Orb and I can't disenchant. So I'm waiting with, just about to do it. I'm waiting with doing that. I don't know why I didn't disenchant the Chaos Orb when he was tapped out. That's a misplay, but I think I have a disenchant in hand. I think that's why I didn't use the library. Now the Animate Dead is on. He tries to Chaos Orb my library. I disenchanted. I think that was the tutor target. And now getting a Trisk. Okay, using the Bazaar Baghdad. I hope he's taking the lightning bolts out and put in a couple of shadows. All Hallows Eve. Counting down. I think it was the correct play to protect my library here. Though, even though this match doesn't really count, I feel a bit bad drawing library in two of the matches here. At least this one, as said, it doesn't really count. But it is hard for him. He's a strip mine now. Now Ancestral. To get rid of it. Don't know if he has anything else. Okay, getting out of Filberstone. Really just keeps on going here. Then copying the Trisks. Oh man, okay, I think this is the killing move pretty soon. Going in for 3 points of damage with one of the Triskelions. And in a bit, I'll be able to attack for a heck of a lot of damage. 2 factories. That's 11 plus 6 points of damage from the Trisks when they shoot. That's 17 already there. And another Trisk getting down. That's 9 points of damage. Oh, he had a balance, but no white mana it seems. Yeah, Skynet just brutalizing here at the end. Winning 2-0 though. That bonus game was just for funsies. Yep, got lucky with the library in one of the matches here. One of the matches that count. But nice back and forth here. Really doing my best to dance around those All Hallows Eve using Time Twister, Animate Deaths, and stuff just to get stuff out of his graveyard. Also Swords of Plowsharing my creatures I stole. Really just because if you don't do that, he might so easily overwhelm you. If that All Hallows Eve triggers, and like there's a Shivan and a couple of Mahamoti Jinn and a Triss coming in, it's lights out in one turn. Bit surprised he didn't took in the Concordant Crossroads. That was something I feared, but electing to go for the discs instead. I suppose he knows best about his deck. Though they were a bit annoying as well, but a bit too slow, I feel. I think the Concordant Crossroads might have been the better pick, maybe, but it is a risky proposition, right? Because my robots are pretty beefy as well, and I do spit them out pretty fast. And if they can attack the moment they touch the table, well, it does provide Skynet a lot of tempo as well. So a bit of a double-edged sword, that one. Anyway, there was this Halloween special coming up against the Reanimator archetype. Stay tuned for more. I hope you liked it, and I'll catch you in the next battle.